you guys the link so you'll have it. Okay. Um, so anyhow, back to the dashboard. So these are the three yellow activities that were indicated on the dashboard. So if I wanted to, change these, I can, change them. Say, oh, I forgot to change that back to a green, whatever it happens to be. I can adapt it right there. To get back to the dashboard, I can either go back to the traffic light or I can just use a little back arrow up here. If I use a little back arrow, it's going to have to go in and recalculate the dashboard again. You may think, well, you didn't do anything, so why recalculate it? Well, the fact is it's a multi-user system and there's people all over using it. So if everybody else in your department is doing input, then we have to recalculate each time we go in here. And again, it takes 10 or 12 seconds to regenerate. Again, I can look at objectives or goals. Now, this little schedule gauge here is telling me that it looks like we have 14 activities between the yellow, green, and gold. And those 14 activities, if I added them all together, be 21 days ahead of schedule. And the way that's calculated is using the beginning date, the ending date, and the percent complete in the activity. So if I think the beginning date is January 1st and the ending date is December 31st, and today is July 1st, I'm exactly halfway through the year. So my activities, if they're set to those dates, should be 50% complete. If I have an activity that is 60% complete, then it's ahead of schedule by 10%, or 10% of a year would be about 36, 37 days. And then let's say I have another activity that's a few days behind schedule. So it's like 45% or something. So that means that it's going to be about 16, 17 days behind schedule. So if I add those two together, it's going to come out saying that overall we're about 21 days ahead of schedule. So it's not a finite number, but it gives you a good idea of overall you're ahead of schedule. And then you can drill down on the activities and look and see which ones are on and schedule and behind schedule that way. So this is like I said, the big picture here. Now, down at the bottom, we have a couple of drill downs. Number one is my activity leaders. So when you get down to the activity level, you can assign teams and team leads. These are the team leads that were assigned to activities within community health. The last time this person updated that information is in this column here. And the green is, again, less than 30 days ago. Yellow, 30 to 60. Red is over 60 days. Ideally, you'd like everybody to be in the less than 30-day schedule here. The FTE value is just kind of an idea that when you're assigning FTE values at the activity level, which, again, happens typically during budgeting season or something like that, you just want to make sure you don't overload people. Like a 1.55 for Diane is way overloaded. So you want to keep people at the 1.0 or below FTEs. Lagging says I have activities. In this case, Fred has two activities that are behind schedule. And it's the same calculation we talked about up here for the schedule gauge. And then the days, in this case, it says Diane, the same as the overall is 21 days ahead of schedule. Diane is 89 days ahead of schedule across all of her bunches and bunches of activities. Like she got 30 activities or something. So she's way ahead of schedule. The overdue column says that, in this case, two of the activities have an ending date that is before today, and they're not yet 100% complete. So that's what the 2 is indicating. We have overdue activities. And then the number of red, yellow, green, and gold. So this is my first view is my people. My second view here, these 3 buttons here, the groups. So when I click on that, it's going to take it again. It's got to recalculate this, but it's going to show down this column, Community Health Division plus tobacco and WIC, as you can see down here. And then the same basic information over here. It's just looking at them by group as opposed to by person. And then my third one here is priorities. And once you get your strategic plan entered, we'll set up your priorities as a 3-dimensional planning element here. So what we're saying is these are the 5 strategic priorities from the strategic plan for USA Public Health. In this case, it would be the services or initiatives for the strategic plan. And then again, the same data elements over here. We're looking to see how is everything related to the strategic plan performing. So those are my 3 views at the bottom here. Top right corner, my priorities. This is just an individually selectable objective or objectives that you want to keep your eye on here. Typically, there are things that are red and yellow because they need help. And typically, there are things that are either directly reporting to you or your team is working on. To change that, I can click on this objective here. And this little green flag is the flag that takes care of that. So right now you see this one has the green flag set, and this one doesn't have those. It's gray. So if I wanted to bring this one on to the My Priorities section up there, I can just click on this flag. And when I click on that flag, it's showing me now that when I go back to my dashboard, it should appear up there. And when you're selecting these for your login only. Everybody selects their own, the ones that they want to watch. So now you see the two of them are up there. So again, to turn these on and off, all I got to do is click on them, take the flag on and off, and away I go. So this is my dashboard. Again, this is the macro level, and it can be the whole department or any group within the department, including the subgroups for that group. And you can do it on your phone. The way this is built is not an app that you have to download because some departments don't allow that. So what we did is we built what we call a dynamic app. Basically, it's the same as you would on your desktop. You go into your web browser on your phone, you go to the same link that you would on your desktop, the login.vmsgdashboard.com. And once you log in, you're going to use the same login credentials that you do on your desktop. It knows it's a phone, so it brings up VMSG Public or VMSG Mobile. So these are the same. This is the top left corner, the bottom, and the top right corner. Exact same functionality. I can drill down on anything on any of these screens. I can turn the My Priorities on and off. Same exact thing I did, but you can do it on your phone. So again, it's more of a convenience feature than anything. So that's macro level performance monitoring. Any questions on that? No? Okay.
No.
Let's go to micro level performance monitoring. So micro level is down at the objective and activity level. So I'm going to go back to my group screen, and we're going to go back to our tobacco group here. And I'm going to drill down a little bit. So I'm at the tobacco cessation, reduce smoking in high schools, and then down to my objective of reduce smoking at Wayne High School by 25% by the end of the school year. What I'm trying to do is figure out where are we in this particular objective. So our target is 25% reduction. If I look down here at the bottom, it says we're at a 25% reduction, which is great. If I want to see the timeline, so from the beginning of this objective until now, I can click on this little chart button right here, and there it is. So it's a real simple chart, but it's very effective because it's showing me from August 15th of 23 when we started the program. You can see the growth curve, and you can see we got up to our 25% and capped off right there. We're at 25%. So what this is telling me is the plan and the actual are equal, which means we're right on target here. And really, that's kind of what there is to the micro level, except that I can now customize this chart. So you look up at the top here, and there's several different things. Number one is the date range. So this is kind of demo data. So I'm going to go ahead and say I want to look at just the dates in 2023. So that would go up through about here, it looks like. So maybe this is a multi-year chart, and I just want to see how did it look in 2023 or 2022. So I can go up here, and I'll just put in 1/1/23, and then I'll go over to here and put in 12/31/23. Did I get that right? And so now you see what it did is cut off everything to the right of December 15th, 23. So you can tweak the chart by timeline. When you do that, you got some options here. In this case, they're all going to kind of look the same because there's not that much data in there. But raw says, show me every data point that was saved. And I'll show you where those are in a minute here. I can say, show me one per day, one per week, one per month, one per quarter, one per year. So typically, if I have, let's say I'm entering data every week and I want this chart, I just want to look at one per month. So what I'm saying is, show me either the last value in the month or the average of the values during that month. Most often, if you got a climbing chart like this, it's going to be the last value. And you can say one per month, or if you say raw, it's going to basically show you every data point in there. In this case, they're the same. At the objective level, when you're defining the objective, as you may recall, you define whether you're measuring in a quantity or a percent. And that's at the objective level. So it carries up to here automatically. So you don't really need to worry about that. The last one over here is scale. You got two scales. Auto says, show me the highest level on the chart and multiply it by 1.1 and give me the top scale. So it gives you just a little bit above the 100%. This one says, show me 0 to 100%. And that's all it is. So it's exactly the same data. If I look at this compared to the other one, it doesn't look as impressive to me, right? It's like, oh, yeah, okay, it's kind of a flat chart. If I go back to the auto scale, it makes it look very impressive, like we have a nice climb. So that's all that's about in there. So those are the customizations for the micro level chart here. Now let's go back over to here. Where does that data come from? Every time, let's go back here. Every time you save any planning element, you get a history record. And the history records are right here in the little hourglass. So in this particular objective, when I click on here, it's going to show me the history records from day one, and it'll show them in reverse chronological order. So this was back the 8/15/23. It says that Fred Erickson added a green objective. It was objective number one, and it was at a 0% reduction at this point. And then you can see who did what when and the timeline, everything up here. So this is the status chart is the one that you see that's mapped into the graph. Everything else is more like data elements here. Now, you can tweak this if you want to. Typically, it's just going to be data that's saved every time you save the plan element, save, in this case, the objective in here. But let's say, for instance, like up here, we have 4 different 25% ones. Maybe we don't want to show all of those in there, or we accidentally add a data record because I'm showing somebody how to use the system. I save it, it adds a new data record. So I can do a couple things. I can go up here, click on the date field, then it shows up down here at the bottom under history record date. And if I wanted to delete this last record, I just hit the delete sign and it'll give me a little dialog saying, do you want to delete it? And away we go. The other thing you can actually do is change the date. And there's really kind of only one reason that you ever do that. And that is if you're putting in historical data from before you implemented the VMSG dashboard. So let's say we've been running this program since, before we implemented the dashboard, and we have a spreadsheet full of data that we want to put in there. What you'll do, and it's not an easy process, but it's a one-time thing that you're going to do. You're going to go into this objective. You're going to set all the values down here to where they were at that period of time. Let's say August of 2022. So I'm going to set all the values to where they were in August 22. I'm going to save it here. When I save it, it generates a new history record. I'm going to go back to my history record here. I'm going to go, it'll be the top record because it's the latest one. I'm going to go up here and then I'm going to change this date to 8/15 of 2022. It'll move to the very bottom of the chart down here. Again, very seldom done, but if you have a program you want to continue on into the dashboard, you can add that historical data in there. So that is micro level performance monitoring. Are there any questions on that? No? Okay. The next thing we'll talk about is some of the reports in here. Now, again, we're not going to talk about all of them today because what you see is the category tag report, the categorization report, and the categories report are all part of 3-dimensional planning. What we're going to talk about today, the one that you'll use 90% of the time is the operational plan report. Underneath that, we have the team lead report, which is the second most used. And then we have partner activities and partners. So those are the 4 we're going to talk about today. Let's go back to the operational plan report. I'm going to go back to my tobacco program here. Now, one thing that's kind of critical is a report can be generated at one of 2 levels. Either the group level, which will include all 3 of these services or initiatives, or if I have one of these selected, like tobacco cessation, the report will start at this level and go down. So it will not include secondhand smoke, tobacco initiation prevention. So it's kind of a critical element as you're generating a report. If I want to see, like, my strategic plan is typically an entire group. So I probably want to generate the report at that group level. Again, back to my tobacco program. So one thing to notice, down here we got what we call the cookie crumb. And if you roll your mouse over it, it'll say, where am I? USA Public Health, tobacco programs for 2025. And then I got my service initiative number, goal, objective, and activity number. You'll notice they're empty right now. When I go down to the service initiative here, it automatically selects the first one. So you'll see number 1 is selected, and it's going to, if I roll over, it says tobacco cessation. If there's something in this box down here, then the report will be generated just for the selected element. In this case, tobacco cessation will not include secondhand smoke, tobacco initiation prevention. Now, something that kind of gets in the way sometimes is I want to generate, okay, I've gone to here, but I want to generate it for the entire group. I go back to my groups tab. Now I've got tobacco selected. And if I generate the report, it's still going to be for just that initiative because this box still has initiative 1 in it. So to clear that is all I do is click on the group again and it clears. So this time when I generate the report, it will be just for the entire group. Make sense? Okay, so let's go down here to our tobacco cessation. To generate the operational plan report, again, probably 90% of what you use will be the operational plan report. I'm going to click on the reports menu up here, the blue one, and then the operational plan report is the top one. Now I'm going to show you what the AI will do for this report here, but you won't have it. You won't have this option on yours until you guys decide you want to go with it. So I click on the report. This is the AI summary. Would you like to generate an AI summary for this report? How many words do I want to use? I can use anywhere between 10 and 500. And what AI does when I tell it that is, how much detail do you want? If I go to 500 words, it's going to give me a pretty detailed summary of the report. So I can say summary only, and what that will do is just generate a paragraph on the screen of the summary that you can print off or whatever you want to do. When I say include, that means include that same summary in the header of the report. And when I say no thanks, it's going to generate just a report. So first of all, let me generate just a report so we can see what that looks like. So this is the operational plan report for tobacco cessation. You'll notice it kind of details everything, what it is up here, all that. Down here, we got the initiative, tobacco cessation, the goal, reduce smoking in high schools. Any notes are in blue, so any notes that we put in there are in blue. Those data sources we talked about are in here in red. And then we got the traffic lights, the current status. This one says it's 100% complete over here at the activity level. Right now, we got our percent reduction at 25% at the objective level. So this is the report. This is the most detailed report. Now, I've got some things that I can do with this report as well. First of all, every activity's got a beginning and ending date. The QA activity, the ending date is dynamic based on the frequency you selected. So if I say monthly and it's August 1st through the end of August, the date is generated dynamically. So it's going to say, how far along are you within this date range? In this case, it would be selected for August. But the project-based activity and the QM activity both have defined beginning and ending dates in them. If I wanted to generate a report for just, let's say, just the month of August, so what am I supposed to get completed in August? If I click on this guy, it's going to just give me a beginning and ending date field. I put the August 1st through August 31st, whatever it is in August, put that in there. And then when I click off of it, it's going to take this report and cut out everything that is not ending in August. The reason for that is exactly that. What am I supposed to get done in August? So I can generate that. It's going to show me all the activities that are supposed to be done in August. Maybe I wanted to just say, what am I going to be doing next month? I can do the same thing for September. So I go in there and put in September 1 through September 30th. It's going to show me everything I'm supposed to get completed in September. So it just allows you to narrow it down by date. This checkbox here for documents, when I click on that, I'll say no thanks again for now. It's going to add every document that's attached. Remember, you can attach documents anywhere. So we have the tobacco cessation plan document attached under the tobacco cessation initiative. Under the goal, we have this document attached. We get down to the objective down here. We have two documents attached. So it says two documents and they're separated by a semicolon. You can have as many documents attached as you want to. So it'll build you a big paragraph if you want it to. And then down here at the activity level, you see we have the document attached. So this comes in really handy if you're using the accreditation plan. That way you can go in and look at the accreditation plan and you can show all the documents where they're attached, typically at the objective level for the accreditation plan. If you're using the system for a long time and you're using the notes as a communication vehicle, you'll end up having lots and lots of notes in the system at some point in time. So what we did is give you the ability, if I want to look at the plan without all the notes, I can click on this hide button here. And what it's going to do is just hide everything that's in blue. Again, the reason for that is I want to just look at the plan and I don't want to see pages of notes in there. It just makes it easier to look at. I'm going to skip over the status drop down for a second here and go over to the top right. Excuse me. What level of the report do I want to see? Right now we're selecting the activities, which is the entire pyramid all the way down. I can also say I just want to look at the objective level here. If I do that, it's going to basically just remove all the activities, as you can see. This is a very common view because objectives are what are we trying to accomplish by when. So in a lot of cases, you look at that and figure out, exactly where we are at the objective level. I can also go up to the goal level here, same thing. So I can just look at the goals on here without seeing the objectives or activities. So that's all available. Now, let me go back to my activity level here. Let's say I wanted to look at just activities that are yellow status. I think I have one in there. That's what this is about. So I'm going to select activities. I can also say I want to see just objectives that are red, yellow, green, or gold status, goals, etc. Right now I'm going to say activities that are yellow status. When I click on that, what it's going to do is filter out every activity that's not yellow. So down here you'll see the yellow status. So it's kind of handy if you're looking to find out, where do I need to focus my efforts? I can say reds and yellows in that particular place here. And I go back to all, and there it is. So those are the tweaks for the report. Now, to actually generate the report, to print it out, kind of a cool thing about this report is by itself, it's a web page. It's a fully functional HTML web page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click this button down here, and you'll see the default name is VMSG report.htm, which is HTML web page. I'll click on that. I'm going to go ahead and save it on my desktop for now. So first thing you have to do is save the report. And it's going to come up eventually and tell me it wants to save it. There we go. Okay, where's my desktop? Okay, so I'll just call it VMSG report. You can change the name, obviously, to anything you want. And I'll save that. Now, when it downloads to my desktop, it's going to have a little pop down here, and I'll open a report. So now I've opened this report in a new web browser window. Again, this itself is a web page. So you can grab this page and give it to your IT folks and say, please put this report up on our public-facing web page so people can see the exact status of how we're doing. Not too often will you use a report this detailed for the public, but maybe for the board or somebody like that. Now, once you're here, you're in the web browser. You've got all the web browser functions up here. So you can export it, you can print it, you can print to a PDF, print to your printers. Anything you can do with your web browser, you can do now to the report. The other thing that some people like to do at times is to kind of tweak this report, maybe put yellow highlights and things. The easiest way to do that is to click anywhere on the report, hit Control A, which is select all, hit Control C, which is copy. Then you're going to open up a Word document or some kind of a text editor document. Typically, I recommend that you flip it to landscape mode and narrow margins. And then you go into there and you just Control V pastes all this report. It'll look exactly like this report does on the screen, but it'll be in a Word document. And once you have it in a Word document, then you can do anything you can do in Word with deleting and moving stuff around and yellow highlights and whatever you want to be able to do. So lots of things you can do with a report. So that is pretty much everything about the report. Now I do want to show you the AI function here. So I'm going to go back to my service initiatives, go to here, go up and regenerate the operational plan report. This time I'm going to say include a 200-word summary in the header of the report. So I just say include, and it takes it a little while to go out to the real world and AI. So what it's done is take that report I just showed you, send that report out. We use Grok right now for AI. It sends it out to Grok. Grok comes back with the paragraph, and then we grab that paragraph and insert it into the header of the report. But it's dynamic. So depending on how many words I ask for, the current status of the report, all of that gets brought into the summary paragraph here. And like I say, it takes a few seconds to generate. And maybe it's Friday. Maybe it wants to go home. There we go. Okay, so this is the header of the same report I just showed you. And this is the 200-word, approximately 200-word paragraph. So it says the report details the 2025 public health initiative focused on tobacco cessation programs aimed at reducing smoking. And it just breaks it down and gives you details. It says Desert Vista is at 21%, hindered by external challenges, key activities involved developing education, all kinds of stuff in there. So again, none of this is taking anything out of your system other than what you put in the report, and none of it's going back into the system or into the world anywhere. So If you guys decide you want to be able to do this, again, I'll be happy to talk to your IT folks and see if they'll let you do that, because it really is nice. This is the kind of thing, if your Board of Health comes in and says, give me an update on our strategic plan, you can generate this for the entire strategic plan, send them a paragraph and an email or whatever. They've got everything they need. They don't need the detail. They've got the summary right here. Okay, so that is the operational plan report. Let's go back to our groups, and I'll go back to Community Health Division. The next report that I want to show you is the team lead report. As you recall, we can assign team leads to activities and objectives. When I click on here, it's going to say, who do I want to be the team lead? I'm going to go ahead and select Andrea as my team lead. And what I want to be able to do is, I want to show for just community health at this point in time. Down at the bottom, I can say the individual. What that means is the person I have selected, in this case, Andrea. If I say group, it's everybody within community health. So the people who are members of the community health group. All says, show me a report including everybody on this screen. Over here at the bottom, I can say, do I want to see the objectives that Andrea is assigned or the activities that Andrea is assigned? Let's go ahead and pick objectives for now. When I pick objectives, this doesn't make any difference because the objective is only a team lead and not the option of a team lead or a team member. On the activities, I can say I want to see whether the person is assigned as a lead or a team member, or just a team member, or just a team lead. So for now, we'll leave that at either. I'm going to select objectives. Two choices down here at the bottom right. The magnifying glass says, give me an editable screen with the results. That means I want to go in and change maybe some of the objectives Andrea is tied to, or maybe Andrea is leaving the organization. I want to unassign them. Just gives you the ability to do that real easily and just go to the ones that Andrea is attached to. So I click on that. It says objectives not found. Let me go ahead and clear the group here and go back to Andrea and try it again. There we go. So she's outside of this particular group. So these are all of the objectives that Andrea is assigned to. You can see down here, she is the team lead. Now, in this case, if Andrea was leaving the organization and you want to replace her with somebody else, you've got the very limited group of objectives that she's assigned to. You can go down here and assign a new person to them, and away you go. The other thing, Andrea could go into here and look at all of her assigned objectives so she could update them from here versus the quick update. The other option here would be to generate a report. So let's generate the same thing. So the objective report here, and there it is. So these are all the objectives. So you notice the non-objective text is grayed out, and then the objectives are in a dark font, so you know that you're looking at the objectives. Where this comes in handy is if you're a leader and you're doing, let's say, monthly one-on-ones with your staff members, you can generate this report, you can print it off, give a copy to Andrea, you have a copy, you sit down and you kind of review them just to see how we're doing. Are there other things we need to be doing? Are there things that haven't been updated on here? So it's a nice tool for being able to do that. So that is the team lead report. And again, either at the activity level or the objective level. And again, either an editable screen or a report. Questions on that? Okay. Two more reports. Partners and partner activities. I'm going to generate the partner report. What that is all of the partner organizations within our department. Who have we created as partners? So we're going to say, let's look at VMSG dashboard. Now, I got a couple choices over here. Print the selected partner only. If I just wanted to see the information on VMSG dashboard, I could do that. I'm going to say no. I want to see all of them. Print the contacts, so the people associated with that organization. I'll say yes. Maybe I'll say yes. And the detail. When I say detail, that means email addresses, phone numbers, fax numbers, that sort of thing. We'll say yes. And we'll generate the report. And basically, it's a listing of all your partners with all the detail. So it's just an easy way to get to your partners if you want to have their phone number, email address, whatever it happens to be on here. And it's also nice after a period of time when you have a lot of external partners built in there to be able to go look and say, oops, Bill's car seat installation went out of business. We can take them off our list, and then you can take them out of the partners. So that's the partners report. the next report, and the last one we'll talk about today, is the partner activities report. Now, if you recall, every activity we can assign internal folks as well as an external partner. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say, where is VMSG dashboard, and particularly where is Fred Erickson at VMSG dashboard assigned as a partner? Now, if I select the left and use these buttons down here on the bottom, it's going to be, let's say I had 5 different contacts in here. It's going to be anybody in the VMSG dashboard organization assigned to an activity. If I use these buttons on the right, it's going to be just the one that I selected, in this case, Fred Erickson. And again, I have the 2 options. I can go to an editable screen here. You must select an organization. Oh, yeah, hang on a second. Partner activities. Okay, so VMSG dashboard. I'm going to go down and select Fred Erickson at VMSG dashboard, and it'll show me again an editable screen of everything that Fred Erickson is assigned as a partner in here. So here's the 3 different activities, and you can see VMSG Fred Erickson down here at the bottom. And again, this is a nice tool of, Fred is leaving the organization, you want to bring somebody else in, just an easy way to change it. Instead of having to go search through them all, you just filter it down to the ones that are specific to Fred. And then the other option here is to generate a report. Same exact thing you saw before, but it's just a report where all of the activity partners are assigned. In this case, every place that Fred Erickson is assigned as a partner would show up on the report. So again, this is how you help to manage your external partners in the system here. So that's all the reports we're going to go into. Like I say, when we do the 3-dimensional planning, we'll get into the 3 categorization reports. Questions? Nope. Okay. This is what I just showed you. It's just a version of the report with the AI in it. The last thing we're going to talk about today is the 3-dimensional planning. So I have the ability to go in and create web pages, basically, with any data elements in there I want and any stack of data elements. This is a version right here that we created. So this is the Tobacco Cessation Initiative. It gives you the chart that shows we have 3 gold, 2 green, 1 yellow, and we're 7 days behind schedule. And then the same thing we talked about before. This is the AI summary. So it's taking the same report. So if this was broken down as that long report, it's taking that same data and building it into the AI summary. And I can do that at the group level and the initiative level, same place the reports are generated here. And then you can see underneath it, we have reduced smoking in high schools. We have the same breakdown, and we can get down to the objective level to where we have the micro level chart in here with the rollovers on it that shows you how we're doing. So I can build this web page as long as I want. These are called indicator rows. So the indicator row is specific to tobacco cessation, and I'm looking at the activity level in here. So let's go take a look at how we actually build this. Really, really simple to build these. Let me go back to here. So I'm going to go back to my groups tab here, and let's go back to tobacco again, and we'll go to tobacco cessation. And let's say I just want to start at reduce smoking in high schools. You'll see this button on pretty much all the screens. This is the VMSG public button. So by selecting reduce smoking in high schools and say I select here, I'm going to say what level do I want to summarize. If I was farther up the pyramid, it would give me goals, objectives, and activities. In this case, because I'm at the goals already, I can select objectives or activities. So I'm going to go ahead and say activities, save that. It's going to generate that indicator row. So the indicator row with the rollover, so 3 gold, 2 green, 1 yellow, 7 days behind schedule in here. So this is one row of your website. Now, what I would do at this point in time is I would save that, and I have a whole bunch of these on here. So it's right now we just save this particular one. The check marks over here indicate which of these is going to be on the web page itself. So right now I'm just going to deselect that. So the only one we have selected is the one we just generated. Now, underneath the goals, I'm going to go to the objectives here. And let's say I want to generate one for reduce smoking in Wayne High School. Again, here's the VMSG public button. And because I only have one level down, it doesn't give me the choice. I've got to go to the activities level. So again, we got the rollover here. We're 18 days behind schedule. We'll go ahead and save that. If I go down here, so here it is down here at the bottom. So these are the two. Now I can also go back to the objectives and do reduce smoking at Desert Vista High School. Again, it's going to give me a different indicator row. I'll say replace. And so this is the Desert Vista High School. We'll save that. And yeah, this one's way up here at the top. So let's see, I'm at 770. I'll go ahead. I can change the order of these, by the way. These are just a bunch of demo things, but I can go down here. So 770 is the last row. I'm going to make this one 780. So it'll appear down at the bottom. Just sorts that way. So now you see we're down here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and generate one more row here. So I'm going to go up to here and reduce smoking at Wayne High School. And this time I'm going to generate the chart. And then I'm going to create a miniature version of this chart. So I'll click on that. And there it is. So I'll go ahead and save that. And that one is right here. So I want to move that one down under reduce smoking at Wayne High School. So it's 740 and that's 770. I'll say 775. And we'll save that. Okay. So now we have the tobacco cessation and we have the goal and we have the two for the objectives in here. So I'm going to go ahead and now generate that web page, and that is this button here. And I'll say create a new one. And so we've got the reduce smoking in high schools, and then we have the reduce smoking at Wayne High School, and we have the detail view of the reduce smoking at Wayne High School, and then we have the reduce smoking at Desert Vista High School. And again, we could have that same detail view below that. So at this point in time, we have our web page. I can save it, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's going to ask you to put a description in here. We'll just say training web page. I'll save that. And now to get the actual web page, this is the link, and it's stored up on our secure servers. So you just click on the link, copy it, Control C. Let's open up a new browser window, paste it in there, Control V, enter, and there it is. So this is the web page we just created. You've got the link. What a lot of people will do is maybe they'll send this to somebody like the board or the health director or somebody as a status of the tobacco program. Or you can grab this link and give it to your IT folks and they can paste it up on the public-facing website so the public can see how you're doing on the tobacco program, that sort of thing. So it's just a real simple way to do it. And literally it takes you 5 minutes to build one of these. You can start at any level and you can go down to any level on these that you want to. One other thing I want to talk about a little bit here, and that is when I go back to the main menu here, I go down to the bottom, I've got the VMSG public indicator rows. So each of those indicator rows that shows up here and the web pages. So if I go back to the indicator rows and I scroll down to the bottom here, you'll notice down here the description has a lot of gobbledygook, if you will. It's HTML. We did that for a reason because we want you to be able to, if you are familiar with HTML or want to learn about HTML, you can customize what's in here and how it displays on the page. This is actually a mini web page within itself. So if I go over back to here, it's the left side over here. So what I'm doing is showing you what's on the left. And you can put anything that you can do in HTML. If you want to learn it, you can Google it. There's thousands of pages to teach you how to do it. But it's really pretty simple, and I'll show you some basic stuff here. But I can put in a chart over here. I can put in a link. So maybe you have reduced smoking in high schools, and then you have a report, an operational plan report for reduced smoking in high schools. You can put a link in here that says for more detail, click here, opens up a new browser tab with that report in it. So you can do lots and lots of things. But there's some real basic stuff that we use. I just wanted to show you in case you're interested in looking at it. So the HTML codes, the big one is the font. So just like in Word, I want to select an Arial font. Size 2 is a little unique to HTML. You can put in, a pound sign and 6 characters if you want to really define it, but it goes from 1 to 7. So size 2 is your normal text font. The color, navy, again, you can put in a specific code, or you can put in dark red or blue or green or whatever you want to put in there. And then after the open and close brackets here, you can put the text that you're working on, and then you close it with a slash font. So you got font and slash font. And then everything in between those is going to show up just like this. So it's an Arial font, size 2, navy color. If I want to just put bold around the text, I can put a bracket B and a bracket slash B around the text, and it becomes bold. Italics, same way, bracket I, bracket slash I, italic text becomes italics. If I want to do bold italics, I can put the bracket I after the bracket B, the bracket slash I before the bracket slash B, and I'll have bold italic text. So simple. And then line breaks. It's just a carriage return. So if I want to vertically scroll things, I can put as many of those in a row as I want to. So I could BR gives me 3 vertical line feeds in here. Again, most people don't mess with this, but if you want to get creative on it, it's all in there. And again, you can do anything you want on that left side of the page. And again, it's kind of a mini web page in itself. So that was everything I had to show you today on Friday. And I know you're going to go home and play with this all weekend long. I'm sure you are.
No,
And
definitely not.
okay, well, go out and enjoy your cool weather then this weekend.
All
I'll
right.
try not to cook. I think it's supposed to start cooling down a little bit here, but it's been pretty darn warm the last couple of days. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here, and